Okay, so just imagine this. You're stuck in a police station waiting room for 90 minutes. You have absolutely no information about your missing child. That is the incredibly tense, real-time setup for Christopher Demos Brown's powerful play, American Son. It's a raw look at the fault lines of race, justice, and parenting in America, and we're going to break it all down. Now, before this play even gets into all the big social issues, it taps into something way more universal, something anyone can understand. We're talking about the most primal fear imaginable, a parent's absolute terror when their child is missing and could be in real danger.
So the whole story happens right here, in this one room. It's 4 in the morning in a pretty stark Miami-Dade police station. We meet Kendra Ellis-Connor. She's an African-American psychology professor, and she is just desperate for any news about her 18-year-old son, Jamal. The only other person there is this young, white police officer, and you can just feel the tension climbing with every tick of the clock.
These are literally the first lines of the play, and they immediately throw you into Kendra's frantic, building anxiety. You can feel her desperation as she's trying to reach her son, with her messages just echoing into this terrifying silence. The stakes are set from the very first second.
Then, the whole dynamic in the room shifts when Jamal's father, Scott, shows up. Now, he's a white FBI agent, and their strained relationship immediately cracks wide open, exposing this deep divide, not just in their marriage, but in their totally different views on how to keep their biracial son safe in America.
And here's the thing that's so crucial to this story. We never actually meet Jamal. He is the absolute center of everything, but he's never on stage. He's an honor student, just turned 18. But through the eyes of his parents, and later the police, he becomes this kind of canvas for all their own hopes and their fears and their biases.
And this is where that conflict between his parents really comes to a head. The minute they start talking about who Jamal was with, it's like two completely different worlds just collide. It turns into this raw, painful debate over what is the right way for a young black man to navigate America.
For Kendra, this is all about perception and prejudice. She's terrified that her son, despite his privileged upbringing, is going to be stereotyped and seen as a threat just for being with other black kids. She's basically fighting for his right to just exist.
But Scott, coming from his law enforcement background, sees it completely differently. For him, this isn't about some abstract idea of rights. It's about practical survival. He believes Jamal has to actively avoid any situation that could possibly be misinterpreted by the police. He's trying to shield his son from the very system he knows inside and out.
And then, this one little detail just escalates everything. There's a bumper sticker on Jamal's new Lexus. It says something along the lines of, "Shoot cops," and it becomes a total lightning rod. For Jamal, maybe it's just some dumb teenage rebellion, but for his parents and for the police, it's seen as a real, legitimate threat.
Now, when we bring in the law enforcement perspective, the tension just ratchets up even more. The two officers we meet, well, they represent two very different sides of the system. You've got the impersonal bureaucracy, and then the all-too-personal reality. So first, we have Officer Larkin. He's young, and he sticks to procedure like his life depends on it. As Kendra is falling apart with worry, he just meets her with this cold checklist. And this wall of bureaucracy is infuriating, right? Because his questions all seem designed to build a criminal profile, not to find a missing kid.
Then, Lieutenant Stokes arrives. He's the senior officer, and he's also black. And he just cuts right through Larkin's procedure and delivers this blunt, chilling assessment. In one sentence, he confirms Scott's worst fears and validates the exact kind of profiling that absolutely terrifies Kendra.
From this point on, the play just tightens its grip and doesn't let go. It turns out the police have been holding back information, and as Lieutenant Stokes finally starts to reveal what happened, the story times out in these fragmented, horrifying little pieces.
It all started with something that happens every day, a simple traffic stop.
Stokes confirms the details from the incident report. Jamal was in his car with two of his friends, the exact scenario his parents were just tearing each other apart over.
And then he reveals there's a video. It's not an official body cam, but from some bystander's cell phone. And he starts describing the muffled sounds on the recording, and you just get this unbearable sense of dread.
And then, there it is, the awful, stark truth from the video. An officer fired their weapon 3 times as one of the other kids tried to run. This is the final devastating blow. After 90 minutes of waiting, the truth is laid bare. Jamal wasn't the suspect, he wasn't fleeing, he was just there.
and he was killed instantly by a stray bullet or a ricochet. The absolute random cruelty of it is the ultimate tragedy.
So that shattering climax just leaves you reeling, and it forces you to confront the play's central question. There are no easy answers here, just this profound, painful void left by what happened.
You know, throughout the play, Jamal was all of these different things to different people. His mom saw the gifted son she tried to protect with knowledge. His dad saw the rebellious teen who needed to be protected by being cautious. The police saw a potential suspect, and in the end, he became a statistic.
And that's the question that just hangs in the air long after the story's over. Because Jamal was never in the room to define himself, we're left to wonder, did anyone ever truly see him at all? It's a haunting final thought about identity, perception, and the tragic cost of a divided nation's fears.